What's up, Wrestlingverse family? Welcome back to the channel where we uncover the truth, expose the manipulators, and break down the most shocking revelations in WWE. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications because what we're about to reveal is absolutely mind-blowing. Today we're diving into one of the most cunning, calculated, and diabolical schemes in recent WWE history. Paul Heyman, the special counsel, the wise man, the master manipulator himself, has been revealed as the instigator behind the explosive split between Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker on Raw. This wasn't a natural falling out, this was orchestrated. Let's break down this entire twisted conspiracy. Before we get into the revelation that shocked the WWE universe, let's talk about the players involved in this incredible story. Paul Heyman is, without question, one of the greatest minds in professional wrestling history. The man has managed legends, created iconic moments, and his fingerprints are all over some of the most memorable storylines in WWE, ECW, and beyond. Paul Heyman's genius lies in his ability to see 10 steps ahead of everyone else. While others are playing checkers, Heyman is playing three-dimensional chess. He understands psychology, manipulation, and how to position his clients for maximum success. Whether he's been with Brock Lesnar, CM Punk, or Roman Reigns, Heyman's counsel has elevated everyone he works with to legendary status. But here's what makes Heyman truly dangerous. He doesn't just manage wrestlers, he manipulates entire situations to his advantage. He's a puppet master pulling strings behind the scenes, creating chaos when it benefits him, and always working toward a bigger plan that nobody sees coming until it's too late. That's exactly what happened with Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker. Let's talk about Bronson Reed, the 300-pound wrecking machine who has been absolutely demolishing everyone in his path. Big Bronson is a force of nature, powerful, athletic, and intimidating. His tsunami splash is one of the most devastating finishers in WWE, and he's been on a mission to prove he's the most dominant big man on the roster. Reed has been vocal about wanting respect, wanting championships, and wanting to be recognized as the monster he truly is. That ambition, that hunger, that willingness to destroy anyone in his way made him the perfect target for someone like Paul Heyman. A powerful weapon looking for direction is exactly what a master manipulator seeks. Then you have Bron Breakker, the next generation superstar carrying one of wrestling's most legendary family names. The Steiner legacy runs through Bron's veins, and he's been proving he's worthy of that heritage. The intensity, the power, the amateur wrestling background combined with explosive athleticism, Bron Breakker is the total package and everyone knows it. Breakker has been positioned as a future world champion since day one. His confidence isn't arrogance, it's earned through dominant performances and an undeniable it factor that can't be taught. Bron represents the future of WWE, and that bright future made him another perfect piece in Paul Heyman's chess game. The alliance between Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker seemed natural at first. Two powerhouses, two dominant forces combining their strengths to take over Raw. They were destroying tag teams, running roughshod over the roster, and it looked like an unstoppable duo was forming. Everyone believed these two were on the same page, working toward shared goals. But there were subtle signs that something wasn't quite right. Little moments of tension, brief flashes of competitiveness, small disagreements that got smoothed over but never fully resolved. Wrestling fans who were paying close attention noticed these cracks, but nobody could have predicted what was really happening behind the scenes. The split happened on Raw in spectacular fashion. During a match where Reed and Breakker were supposed to be working together, everything fell apart. Miscommunication led to Reed accidentally hitting Breakker with a devastating move. Breakker retaliated, and suddenly these two powerhouses were at each other's throats. The match descended into chaos, and the partnership was seemingly destroyed. After the brawl was broken up and both men were separated backstage, the WWE universe was left wondering what happened. How did such a promising alliance fall apart so quickly? Was it ego? Was it miscommunication? Was it just two alpha males unable to coexist? The questions were endless, and speculation was running wild on social media. Then came the revelation that changed everything. This week on Raw, in a backstage segment that had everyone's jaw dropping, Paul Heyman emerged from the shadows with the most sinister smile on his face. The special counsel called for a microphone, and what he revealed shook WWE to its core. Heyman explained, with that methodical, calculated delivery only he possesses, that everything that happened between Reed and Breakker was his doing. Every moment of tension, every seed of doubt, every miscommunication, Paul Heyman had been orchestrating it all from the very beginning. The wise man had been playing both men like fiddles. The details Heyman revealed were absolutely diabolical. He admitted to privately speaking with both Reed and Breakker separately, planting subtle suggestions in each man's mind about the other. He told Reed that Breakker was getting all the credit for their success, that management favored the Steiner legacy over Reed's hard work. He whispered poison in Reed's ear about being used as a stepping stone. To Bron Breakker, Heyman told a different story. He suggested that Reed was jealous of Breakker's natural star power, that Big Bronson was planning to turn on him eventually, and that Breakker needed to stay alert and protect himself. Heyman planted paranoia and mistrust, knowing that two powerful egos would eventually collide once the seeds were sown. But why would Paul Heyman do this? What could he possibly gain from destroying a promising alliance? The special counsel explained his master plan with chilling clarity. By turning Reed and Breakker against each other, Heyman ensured that two of Raw's most dangerous competitors would destroy each other, eliminating threats to Heyman's real clients and plans. With Reed and Breakker at war with each other, they're not focused on championships, they're not threats to whoever Heyman is secretly representing, and they're not united as an unstoppable force. Instead, they're expending all their energy on mutual destruction. Classic divide and conquer strategy executed by the master manipulator himself. The reactions from Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker were explosive. Both men realized they'd been played, manipulated, and used as pawns in Heyman's larger scheme. The anger and betrayal on their faces was palpable. But here's the twisted part. Even though they now know Heyman orchestrated everything, the damage is done. The seeds of mistrust have grown into full-blown hatred. Reed and Breakker's responses to the revelation showed their different personalities perfectly. Bronson Reed was furious, shouting about how Heyman would pay for his manipulation and how he'd destroy anyone connected to this scheme. The raw emotion and rage from Big Bronson was intimidating and showed he won't let this go unpunished. Bron Breakker's reaction was more controlled but equally intense. He talked about being disappointed in himself for being manipulated, but promised that Paul Heyman just made the biggest mistake of his career. Breakker vowed to dismantle Heyman's plans and make the special counsel regret ever using the Steiner name in his schemes. But here's the genius of Heyman's plan. Even with the truth revealed, Reed and Breakker still have genuine animosity toward each other. The manipulation created real feelings, real conflict, and real hatred. They can't just shake hands and move on because the emotions are authentic now. Heyman's psychological warfare worked perfectly. The WWE Universe's reaction has been incredible. Social media exploded with respect for Heyman's brilliance mixed with hatred for his manipulative tactics. Fans are calling this one of the best long-term storytelling angles in recent memory. The fact that Heyman was working behind the scenes this entire time adds layers of depth to everything that happened. Commentary and analysis from wrestling journalists has been glowing. They're praising WWE for playing the long game with this storyline, for trusting the audience to follow subtle storytelling, and for using Paul Heyman exactly how he should be used, as a master manipulator whose influence extends far beyond just one client. Let's analyze the brilliance of this storytelling. First, it retroactively adds meaning to every interaction between Reed and Breakker. Fans can go back and watch previous segments knowing Heyman was pulling strings, and suddenly all those moments of tension make perfect sense. That's quality storytelling that rewards attentive viewers. Second, it elevates Paul Heyman's character to another level. He's not just a manager standing at ringside, he's a puppet master controlling events across the entire show. That makes him even more valuable and dangerous. Any storyline Heyman touches automatically becomes more interesting because we know his mind is always working angles. Third, this storyline creates multiple compelling directions moving forward. Do Reed and Breakker eventually team up to get revenge on Heyman? Do they stay enemies and continue destroying each other, playing right into Heyman's hands? Does someone else get revealed as Heyman's actual client who benefits from this chaos? The possibilities are endless. The implications for Raw's landscape are significant. If Paul Heyman can manipulate two dominant forces into destroying each other, what else has he orchestrated? Who else might be dancing on Heyman's strings without realizing it? The paranoia this creates among the roster is delicious drama that can fuel storylines for months. From a character development perspective, this is huge for both Reed and Breakker. They've learned a harsh lesson about trust, manipulation, and the cutthroat nature of WWE. This experience will make them more cautious, more calculating, and potentially more dangerous. Character growth through adversity makes for compelling long-term storytelling. The question everyone is asking now is, who is Paul Heyman really working for? The special counsel rarely acts without serving someone's interests. Is he still loyal to Roman Reigns and the bloodline? Has he aligned with someone new? Is this all preparation for a returning superstar? The mystery adds another layer of intrigue. Some fans are speculating that Heyman orchestrated this split to clear the path for a bloodline member, perhaps Solo Sikoa or another member of the family. Others think Heyman might be working with a completely unexpected client. The theories are flying, and that speculation keeps fans engaged and invested in the storyline. The potential confrontations between Heyman and his victims are mouth-watering. Imagine Heyman cutting promos about how easily he manipulated two supposed tough guys. The heat he would generate would be nuclear. And when Reed or Breakker finally get their hands on Heyman, the crowd will explode. This storyline also showcases WWE's commitment to complex, layered storytelling. In an era where some criticize wrestling for being too simple or predictable, this Heyman manipulation angle shows WWE can still execute sophisticated, long-term stories that respect the audience's intelligence. The acting and character work from everyone involved deserves recognition. Heyman's sinister reveal was perfectly delivered with just the right mix of pride and menace. Reed and Breakker sold the betrayal and anger beautifully. These subtle performances elevate the material and make everything feel real and important. Looking ahead, the matches this creates are incredibly exciting. Reed versus Breakker in a personal grudge match where both want to prove they're not weak-minded. Reed or Breakker versus whoever Heyman is actually representing. Tag matches where Heyman's client teams with someone against the men he manipulated. All of these scenarios are money. The storytelling also opens doors for potential face turns. If Reed and Breakker are positioned as victims of Heyman's manipulation, the audience might start sympathizing with them. That organic face turn, if it happens, would feel earned rather than forced. That's masterful character development. From a business perspective, this storyline is brilliant for building toward premium live events. Imagine Reed versus Breakker in a grudge match at a major show, with the stipulation that the winner gets 5 minutes alone with Paul Heyman. That sells itself. The personal stakes make everything more compelling. The social media engagement this revelation generated is exactly what WWE wants. Trending topics, viral clips, endless debate and discussion. This is content that keeps WWE in the conversation. Heyman trending on Twitter for his manipulation rather than just a promo shows the depth and impact of the storyline. Can we appreciate how this makes Paul Heyman feel like the most dangerous person in WWE even though he never wrestles? The psychological warfare, the manipulation, the ability to destroy careers and alliances without throwing a single punch, that's real power. That's what makes Heyman legendary. The historical parallels to other great manipulator characters in wrestling are notable. From Bobby Heenan to Jimmy Hart to Heyman's own work with numerous clients, great managers create chaos and opportunity. This storyline cements Heyman's place among the all-time greats in wrestling management. One fascinating aspect is whether Reed and Breakker can overcome their programming. Heyman planted ideas so effectively that even knowing they were manipulated, the feelings remain. Can they see past their anger to recognize the real enemy? Or will pride and ego keep them at war? That's compelling drama. The long-term storytelling potential is enormous. This could be a story that plays out over months, with Heyman continuing to manipulate situations, Reed and Breakker evolving as characters, and eventually leading to a massive payoff at WrestleMania season or beyond. Patient storytelling creates the most satisfying conclusions. Alright, wrestling vs. family, time for your thoughts. Were you shocked by Heyman's revelation? Do you think Reed and Breakker will team up for revenge or stay enemies? Who do you think Heyman is really working for? Drop all your theories and opinions in the comments below. Let's solve this mystery together. If you loved this breakdown of Paul Heyman's master manipulation, smash that like button. Subscribe to Wrestling Verse for the best wrestling analysis and storytelling breakdowns on YouTube. Turn on notifications so you never miss our deep dives into WWE's most compelling storylines. Share this video with wrestling fans who appreciate complex storytelling. Let's spread the word about this incredible angle and get everyone talking about the wise man's diabolical genius. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video where we'll continue analyzing the biggest stories and most shocking moments in professional wrestling. Until next time, trust nobody, question everything, and acknowledge the genius of Paul Heyman. This is Wrestling Verse, and I'll see you all very soon. Peace out.